My Bitcoin level has just been hit, and the question really is what comes next. And in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly. So about a week ago, I posted this in the community, and I said that there is a 1 hour market structure shift. I'm shorting, and if you look where this actually came down to, exactly to the 50% as I've been expecting. So if you look at the 4 hour chart on Bitcoin, and you see that there is basically a low, the final low here, and the new high formed above the previous highs. I said up here that I'm expecting after this market structure shift that we're coming down to the 50% leg, and that 50% retrace has happened. Markets always retrace 50%, and I would not be surprised, as again, a week ago I posted this here, I would not be surprised to see this retrace result in a continuation to the upside. So the question really comes down, I am in a short position. You can see my positions built up here. The question really is, what comes next? Am I going to close them? Am I going to open a long position? And what am I really looking for? If you don't know who I am, my name is 𝗲𝗲. I do these updates every single day when I'm traveling, which is now, as you see, I'm here as well. So they are 5 to 10 minutes. Subscribe to the channel if you want to be here. 22% if you're not subscribed. So do that. We're going to hit 100,000 subscribers very soon. Want that? So subscribe, invite a friend, and join in the community. This is where I share my thoughts. It's a Telegram channel. It's free, so link in the description. Let's go. Couple of things. One, I have to talk about this. Again, we're going to talk about the charts, but this is insane. PPI, Producer Price Index, basically showing you how much it costs to produce things and how much more expensive it is to produce things compared to previous years and whatnot. The year on year is up 6%. Forecast was 4.8, previous was 4%, almost a 50% increase in the PPI in year, which is absolutely insane. Considering the oil crisis and everything, this is not good. This basically means that inflation through the roof. Second thing is US government just agreed to pay 5% to borrow for 30 years. They just had this bond, they just sold 30-year bonds at 5%. The last time when that happened was 2007. The way this actually works is that whoever wants to buy the bonds, they basically list it, they hand in how much they want, how much yield they want, and they go from the lowest to the highest, and everybody gets the agreed, the highest yield. And so the problem here is that nobody has trust in the US system, and everybody believes that the debt is just going to keep rising, 1 trillion a year now, and it's just going to keep going higher. And I posted this and I said, when things break, they will break fast. So everybody thinks everything is cool, but when food shortages will hit in, food shortages will hit in, oil shortage hits in, inflation goes through the roof, debt increases like crazy, credit costs default, real estate, mortgage payment default, things gonna collapse in no time. So that's what I'm expecting. And again, there could be a complacency bounce coming here, and obviously the market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. So this is why I would not bash or would not disregard a possibility for a long here. Let me explain everything what I see. First of all, if you look at the total market cap, if you look at the total market cap here, I've been saying for a long time that we need to come back to the 50% level. That just happened, right? And guess what's happening as well? There is seemingly a rejection from that 50% level. So there are multiple order blocks, up here one, but anywhere here, once you fill the gap, which you can see here, almost fill the entire gap, by the way, but can be a rejection. You could see this all the time. So again, the way these shows are designed, you have to come back every day. It's 5 minutes. So I'm not going to go into this because we talked about this a million times, but it comes back 50, comes back 50, comes back 50, and guess what? Comes back 50, and it continues lower, lower, lower. I do believe sub 60,000 is coming for Bitcoin. The question is from where and how. And so if you go back onto the Bitcoin chart, this is what I want to show you. I go into the 4 hour chart. So now we know that there was a daily retrace. Then I go back to the 4 hour chart and I say, what is the 4 hour structure? Again, talked about this a million times, but you can see the 4 hour structure forming as I'm not going to go through it exactly now, but you can see the 4 hour structure being bullish. And that basically means that this is the last 4 hour structure here, right? This level resulted in a new high, taking liquidity, whatnot. It's a very, very strong level. That means that until this level breaks, we are not bearish on the daily. We are bullish on the daily because of the 4 hour chart. Once the 4 hour actually breaks, which I think can happen, I'm not sure if this is going to be this level, I'm going to explain in a second. Once that breaks, we have a retrace, and then we continue to sub 70, but most likely sub 60 soon after. But for now, as you can see, the 4 hour is actually bullish. So you can look at this 4 hour chart and be like, okay, this is a low, this is a high, there is a retrace of 50%. It always has happened. I mean, you can look at this, always has happened, always came back 50%. You can look at 50, 50, 50, 50, and after a retrace of 50%, it was a bounce. What we need for a bounce is a 15-minute market structure shift, which is basically a higher high. Now I need to find the level where there are 3 consecutive candles. I'm actually going to do this on a total market cap. It's just better to look at that. But it's probably going to be the same. So all the way up here, this is the reason why I'm actually not that bullish here. And I'll tell you why. Because the 1 hour and this massive sell-off here with imbalances is a problem. Because the 1 hour high is the same as the 15-minute high. That means on the total market cap is up here. I just don't see, I have the lamp here, so I actually don't see the level. But it's right here. Let me just see. It's 2.68. Up here on a total market cap, and on Bitcoin is probably something similar. Yeah, exactly. So that's all the way up here at 81,350. So the reason why I posted in the community as well, I said all the positions that I have in, I'm actually running a bunch of Bitfunded accounts. They are prop firms. If you don't know what they are, I'm actually passing 3 challenges. You can buy a challenge, and if you pass the challenge, you can trade real capital. And I do have 3 accounts running here. I'm just going to open one of them, so you'll see what they are. But I'm running the same short positions there. This is up $3,000. I need to make 15, and I'm passing the challenge. So, but I posted in the community here, and I said I'm moving my stop loss to 81,400. And the reason why I do that is exactly because that is the high up here. So it's 81,350. You give it a little bit of a nudge, whatever. So this is why my stop loss is up here at 81,400. Because I believe what's going to happen is that this comes back 50. And once it does, it will show a market structure shift. I'm looking for a 5-minute market structure shift. If I see a 5-minute, I am adding to the position. This is what I'm looking at. Once this happens, I am adding or opening new positions. Opening new positions or adding to the current positions. We'll see what is better. I'm going to let you know in the community. This is why it's also worth joining the Telegram. First link in the description. And if you want a prop firm challenge, by the way, it's also a second link in the description. But it will come back 50%. I do believe. It will come back here. Maybe all the way up here, and then show a market structure shift and continue lower. Now, here is the other side of the coin, right? It can happen that it just simply wicks me out, and it just continues higher, which would be fantastic, because what that means is that we came back 50%, we created a new high on the hourly chart, and then we just simply move higher. I'm going to take a long position here. I'm going to wait for a retrace, and I'm going to wait for another leg up. This is also a possibility. So I'm not saying either. I'm saying that the likelihood of us going lower is very high and then reversing from here. This is the most likely scenario. But it can happen that it just start pushing for whatever reason and then makes a high here. I'm going to get my entry here. I'm going to get my other entry here and then just ride higher. Finally, my stop loss is basically down here, like 0.5%, which originally, when the stop loss was up here, the risk on the account at 2%, the risk on the account was 1% off my account. So now the risk is probably like 0.1%, if not less, on the account. I can actually go in here and I can actually show you. So I can go here and position stop. This is a $150,000 account. So I can go here and I can see that the risk on the account is okay, this is higher because this is one of my, so to say, gambling accounts. But if I go back here and I go back onto, I click on there. If I go back onto this one, then you will be able to see. I'll just go down here. This is why it's actually good to take advantage of these deals, because then you can have gambling accounts and not that much gambling accounts. $290 stop loss on a $100,000 account. So that's like 0.2%, not even, 0.3%. So this is why it's worth actually getting these deals as well, because then you can have one account that you gamble with a little bit more, which is still like 1.5% of the account, 1.7% of the account. So it's not that big of a, no, 1.3%. It's not that big of a deal, but still it's higher than 1%. Anyway, TLDR, I do believe that we are going to come back here. I do believe that there's going to be a 5-minute market structure shift. I do believe that we're going to go sub 78,000. Probably come all the way down here at around 77,000 and then go from there. We'll take it level by level. Subscribe to the channel, join in the community. I'm traveling, so it's much easier for me to update you here. I'm not sure I can drop an update tomorrow, but subscribe to the channel, come back tomorrow, and I'll see you in the next one.